We are in the midst of an economic transformation more sweeping than any since the Renaissance brought Europe out of the Dark Ages. But what we are now experiencing is perhaps most clearly paralleled by the Industrial Revolution that began more than 200 years ago.
Hello, I'm Ron Davison, and welcome to this, the first volume in the Fourth Economy series, a series of videos designed to focus on this new economic age and help you to realize the possibility it offers. In this volume, you'll discover a new way of thinking. This video about systems thinking is first in the series because I believe that once people change their thinking, all other changes follow. Throughout the history of Western civilization, intellectual revolutions have preceded social revolutions. To illustrate the sequence of revolutions, let's consider René Descartes and Adam Smith.
In 1630, Descartes wrote Rules for the Direction of the Mind, in which he articulated about 20 rules of thinking for Europeans more familiar with accepting authority than questioning reality. His fourth rule stated that there is a need of a method for finding out the truth. His fifth rule purported to describe that method. Reduce involved and obscure propositions step by step to those that are simpler, was an admonition at the heart of this fifth rule. In order to determine whether this reductionist approach was simply of interest to future scientists and philosophers, or whether it impacted daily life, let us move forward nearly 150 years. Adam Smith described capitalism in The Wealth of Nations. In the very first paragraph, he coins a term, division of labor. What Smith described for work is very similar to what Descartes described for concepts. We have to change only two words of Descartes' admonition to describe Adam Smith's division of labor.
Smith is not just describing a philosophical possibility. Someone once said that an economist is a person who sees something that works in the real world and wonders if it'll work in theory. Smith opens his book with an account of a pin factory he had observed, in which one man draws out the wire, another straightens it, a third cuts it, a fourth points it, and so on. In this manner, pin manufacturing was divided into about 18 distinct operations. Did division of labor make a difference? Adam Smith thought it did. He speculated that it didn't just double or triple productivity. Smith calculated that through division of labor, productivity increased more than 200 times. Once society began to organize around a new way of thinking, it was radically transformed. What does that have to do with today's economy? Since about the Second World War, a growing number of scientists and philosophers have been articulating theories about systems, observing similar principles across all systems, whether those systems were biological or chemical, microscopic or as large as a planet. They found that at higher levels of organization, new realities emerge. And these realities are lost on the reductionist thinker. You can know all about animal cells, but fail to explain the difference between a monkey and a sloth. In social organizations, too, new realities emerge. Groups of intelligent managers can regularly make dumb decisions. As in Adam Smith's day, people are beginning to organize around a new way of thinking. Deming brought to Japan the concept of a system in 1950 and began the quality revolution. Principles of systems thinking can be found in corporate reengineering, government reinvention, learning organizations, and process action teams. Like reductionist thinking before it, systems thinking has moved out of the domain of scientists and philosophers to profoundly impact the way we work, learn, and live.